Before our beloved Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro gives us the teachings on the four Gampopas, you are allowed to take pictures. Please try to not to be invasive. You can make some recordings, but try to not to make any noise, please, during the teachings. The text book is available outside. If you want a copy on the four Dharmas of Gampopa is available for you to purchase. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody in the presence of our wonderful teacher, the bright shining light, Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro, in the 21st century, his blessings everywhere, and thanking our resident teacher and spiritual director, Gampopa Samdrup, for arranging his presence here and enabling him to give his blessings in Ohio and Washington, D.C. and elsewhere. So I'd just like to introduce Gampopa Samdrup and request him to give us a brief introduction of Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. We are so fortunate to welcome to Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro to the United States and here to Gong Dharma Syria. I have had the blessing of being at Larongar twice. The first time I went to as a student of Gampopa Jimmy Pinso, and I had to trek for a month. It was an intense journey. I thought of the strength of Marpalosa, and that fought for me to succeed. The second time, just a year ago, I went to see Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro. I didn't expect the journey to be as difficult. And then I meet even more obstacles. When I arrived, there were so many monks. I couldn't even get close to his great teacher. Getting to Larongar hasn't been easy, yet their teachings I received during the journey and from this master have been invaluable. Now, as we prepare for the 80th celebration, 800th celebration of Lord Jigten Sumgun's pre-Nirvana, His Eminence Garchin Rinpoche shared in Tibet, Gampopa Jimmy Pinso established the greatest monastery with tens of thousands of monks, one of the largest monasteries in the world. Although he has already passed away, this vast Dharma establishment he created still remains because Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro cares for and sustains the monastery. Therefore, he is a very special spiritual teacher. Oh, yeah. Actually, there is no difference between Khenchen and Manjushri. So many students in Western countries possess great wisdom and intelligence, and through his intelligence we can recognize Khenchen as genuine spiritual master. And now, due to our supplications, he is visiting us here in the West. This is something I would really like to bring to your attention, because it is a very special opportunity. I encourage all disciples to seize the opportunity, take the opportunity, and meet this inconceivable being. Today, we are so fortunate to be here face to face, starting with such as remarkable teacher. It is essential that we develop determination and appreciation for the teachings and the Dharma. Welcome Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro and his translator Kat Hadi and Susu. Thank you. So now we have going to do the opening prayer. Please this page. It's page 6. Oh, Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hurt me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and amnesia. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and safely I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete and precious Buddhahood. Oh, Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and amnesia. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and safely I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete and precious Buddhahood. Dalai Dhamma Sepeda, Nobara Sepege, Tarabadam Dam Jen Jembe Barada Jubara Seba, Tam Je Zor Sebe, Mai Nanga Danyam Bezem Jen Dam Je Dewa Dam De, Dungar Dandar Yor De Lana Meva, Yang Da Bar Zobe San Jurum Boje To Bar Zan. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Next page. So we do the once English only. We take refuge in the kind Ru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandalas of the Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble darkness, Dharma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Page 9. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Next page. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightenment and the progress in the Bodhisattva's path, are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and I apply myself to accomplish stage of the path. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. So now, page 14. No, this is very long. So we go to mandala offering. So before mandala offering, page 18, we chant this, then we do the mandala offering. Page 18. My page 18 is unequal refuge. Supplication to Lord Jigten Songul. Do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Unequal refuge, ornament of the world. Your firm provides the 3,000 world. You are the victor, Vajradhara, widower dog. I bow at the feet of Father Jigten Songul. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize and liberate nature of mind. So now we chant the Vajrasattva mantra, long one, and then go into offering mandala. Om Benzara Sadhu Samaya Manibalaya Benzara Sadhu Dinamba Tijan Jome Bava Senda Vaya Me Bava Senda Vaya Me Bava Me Bava Sarva Sende Menayanto Avagarma Sesame Sabarana Samaye Nije Mindra Zombonda Bere Shonjala Varje Menjeje Gazon de Naya Dengan Jeje Gazon de Name Marishan Jelo. Page 21. Page 21. Please chant the word of the Dharma, of the true workers, and the according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. Semje Namje Sambada lo ye ze ra je da wa che jong de mon de ba ye che jeng go lo go de zo Pomba lame sanje rambo che joba lame tamje rambo je remba lame gende rambo je jamne gonjo son lan juba mo
다가 총공전지 추천공전지다 맞어 호진 여전의 장장 바마게서 동보라 양전 저거 우주니 바만 존의 지서 고등 관조 만보 고르지 지서 다저지 신제라 저서 정거라 밤 서다 호진 여전의 장장 바마게서 동보 염전 저거 우주니 바만 존의 지서 장고등 관조 만보 고르지 지서 다저 신제 랍저 저서 정거라 밤 서다 호진 여전의 장 야마게서 동보라 염전 저거 우주니 바만 존의 지서 장고등 관조 만보 지지 지서 다저 지 신제 랍저 저서 guru bama sada oma hum banzar guru bama sada oma hum banzar guru bama sada oma hum bama sada oma hum banzar guru 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 bama Umang banzarangara bama sarda chela da jang sora da bendi da soganda ne be sab josa nanda wampo tam so jawa chudang jajin beram za da sur chumden dem gombo jahora yang la jang zar lo ganga lu ju dem ni dem je ni da nanda ra sarve chenye dong ga jja zhe ni ji da kra lo Kanda dribi zara maru mando dungara jezar vendo so kanla vache darche yamda dribje yamda Dudra je jo nyamo nyalo li je jaro jomza jang maru maze dungara nyega jenye jomza radra Dune daja sabjin daso yonda li zo jate da oga jadra jadang jenye jay Dolu manziran jahura yala Dutta omara baza narda 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 Chirdan jijin jero ozir ji dalo dharma mambaraz Gadang danju jolu dobai lodu rubi nawa jit sur Nyaji jembo zordan nyume jang zone monung jembo ngabya tang bakara tangam zandu shermat tomba tije jala shantsar lo teni gewi shinye namba tang teni terang nga tsu chujin ke namba tamchila nga zhu de la kan samzhi yin
Did everybody hear that, or should I repeat it? Repeat, okay. So first of all, I would like to say good morning to all the Dharma mentors here today, as well as everyone who came to listen to the teaching.
Yeah,
this is my second time to this center.
teni terang aso teni chuchak nandonde teni nyame takboron bochi ga teni chuji zia chuji tsawa zia terendos.
The topic of today's teaching will be the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa, or the 4 roots of Gampopa.
Teni nyame takboron bochi tena chokore Gampopa zena chokore teni kung ta sherdang teni ta po kanjen ka teni jong lama namji nane lama halepa teni karchishu teni samji meche pa lama teni zres.
Whether we refer to him as Gampopa or by his other name of Dakpo Rinpoche, he was and is an extraordinarily important and inconceivable Lama in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. Generally, in terms of Tibetan Buddhist lineages, he's classified as a Kagyu Lama. But he's also considered as a Lama of the entire Tibetan tradition. And among his teachings are many that are extremely wonderful and profound. Of the most condensed of these teachings is this one, the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa. And a teaching of his that is slightly more extended or comprehensive than this is the jewel ornament of liberation. Among his various compositions, though, are many that are even more extensive than these. The contents of these teachings are considered to be, in Tibet, extremely profound teachings and mind trainings. So everyone regards these as teachings with great capacity to benefit the mind. There are 4 or 5 collected works of Gampopa. I'm not sure whether they all exist in English version, but I'm sure that some of them do. And if you were all able to read these works, it would be truly wonderful. As for myself, I read them a lot. And in general, in the Drigong tradition, there are many great instructions and on the practice of Buddhism. In times gone past, it was quite rare to be able to get hold of these works in Tibetan. But these days, with digitization, they're easy to get hold of. So, as for the instructions, the personal instructions of these lamas, I usually read them like this, in this form. And they're really very excellent. They just have such great benefit for the mind.
수수 따나 심라 판통근 어떤지지요.
So when I say truly excellent, I'm basically meaning that they have great capacity to benefit the mind. And it's possible that some of these do exist in English. And if they do exist, then all of you really must read them. If they're so wonderful that if you didn't read them, it really would be a loss. So the main Lama of this center is Khenchen Rinpoche. Gamba? Oh, let's say. Khenchen Rinpoche is an extremely important lama among the elderly lamas of Tibet. And as a lama, as a Dharma practitioner, is really a fully qualified practitioner. And is a very humble practitioner too. And a person, a being who has studied extraordinarily well. And someone who really practices the true content of the Dharma. And when I say that Khenchen Rinpoche is an important teacher, it's not because, he's a lama or he's a tulku with a particular title. This is not the reason that I say this. The reason that I do call him important is because he is someone who actually implements in practice the teachings exactly as they are in the Mahayana tradition. Now he is quite advanced in years. And of course all of us pray and hope and aspire that elderly lamas such as him will live for a long time. But in any case, while he is still here with us, everyone should seek empowerments from him and oral instructions from him. Of course, in the future there will be other good lamas like him. However, whether or not there will be many such lamas, we can't say for sure. As for the top-rate lamas from Tibet, most of them live outside Tibet. So as for practitioners inside Tibet, most are not able to receive teachings, empowerments, instructions from these lamas. But you, everyone here, is able to seek empowerments, teachings, and instructions from these lamas. And this really is your good fortune, your good karma. So it's really important that you don't fail to take advantage of this opportunity.
다 가서 보고 되니 라마 소원하니 망보 되니 라마 할레바 라마 약보도 소원하니 다 망보스 되니 다 되니 장지니 어 되니 단데 차라레스.
So many of Tibet's best lamas have already passed on to the higher realms. They've passed away.
되니 같이 보지 거는데 다 망보지요 말레스.
Kabbalah. And there's not many left that are like Gachin Rinpoche or of his cohort. And so if you really do wish to practice the Dharma, it's so important to go before these lamas and seek teachings from them to really seize the opportunity that exists. Of course, after these lamas have passed away, yes, good lamas will still continue to arise. However, whether or not they will occur in this short lifetime of ours is quickly is very difficult to say. So it's really important that in respect of these wonderful elderly lamas that we really are aware that they are rare beings and that our opportunity to meet with them too is rare as well. So everyone, please bear this in mind. So we're going to begin now with today's teaching.
So the
topic of today's teaching is Gampopa's 4 Dharmas. And as to these this root text, there are many different explanations. Because the amount of words in the original text are very few. In fact, there are virtually no texts that contain fewer words than this text. It is very condensed. However, in terms of the content, it's extremely profound. So as to this content, there are really 2 different strands of explanation or commentary. One of these follows or is that which Gampopa or how Gampopa explained it himself or how he said it himself. There is a small commentary that goes hand in hand with the root text that was written by Gampopa. So what this text is a very simple and convenient presentation of the varying levels of Dharma practice that an individual practitioner requires. And then the other strand of explanation of these teachings is from those teachers who came after Gampopa and composed commentaries on his root text. So within these few lines of text, the entirety of the Buddhist teachings are encompassed. And this small text sets out the paths of practice for practitioners of 3 different levels. And when we say the 3 levels of practitioners, what we mean is practitioners of lesser, average, and greater propensities and capacities. And corresponding with these 3 different levels of practitioners are 3 different levels of path. So a lesser path, an average path, and a greater path. And within the 3 paths of the 3 practitioners, all of the Buddhist paths are encompassed. And there's nothing in the Buddhist teachings that is, or in the teachings of the Buddha, that is not encompassed in these 3 paths of the 3 different levels of practitioner. There is a more vast or comprehensive explanation of this. But rather than explaining it in this very vast or comprehensive way, today we are going to be looking at this text primarily from Gampopa's perspective, and that is that of the practice of an individual practitioner. Because if we teach from this perspective, then this has benefit to everyone's personal practice. And has benefit to everyone's mind. So in presenting the teachings today in a simple way that is closely connected to our practice, this is similar or approaches the way that Gampopa presented his own teachings, and it is also of benefit to our practice.
So of the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa, the first of them is to grant blessings for worldly virtue to turn to the pure Dharma. So within the original Tibetan language version of this line of the text, it literally translates as grant blessings for the Chö, to turn to the Chö. And Chö in Tibetan means the Dharma. So in this line we need to differentiate what the first Chö is and the second Chö is. 추진 더 마시나서 그래서 추진 더 마시나서 가서 추듬나 거랑 추다 낭돈 따도 듣고 그래 마도 봐 추디 추양 봐 마시나서 그래서 추진 더 마시나 추기라 간송던 로서 더시 그 추드더니 거랑 추양 봐 듣을 따도 신이 듣고 그래 마도 봐 되니 추이나 신실로 듣나 되니 간송란도 그래서
So in Gampopa's explanation or commentary on his own text, he wrote that it is necessary for us to practice the correct Dharma or the proper Dharma rather than engage in action that is incorrect or unvirtuous.
추추진의 마시나 추기라는 안송던 로지 가서배나 추즈 접고나 되니때 양 딱바 접고 그래 마떡바 양 딱바 마접나 되니 추양 가서 안송란로야 되니 시그레스.
That's it.
그래서
And so Gampopa said was it's necessary for us to practice the Dharma in a correct way. Failing to do this, practicing the Dharma in an incorrect way will lead us to descend to the lower realms.
야, 다더니 추듭나티 간송라 가린도 그래. 삼내 가서 삼로들이 용기래서.
네 양자소나 지그르바.
추듭나? 다들 가서 간송란도 임선 강리사네. 간송세나 거도.
나세 고.
어. 다니 추듭나 가서 간송란도 임선 가리래제나스.
So you might ask, why is it if we practice the Dharma that we might descend to the lower realms?
다니 ngazo pena chudrub ko yinzeni teni mangte teni chula teni ayar ko yore chula ayarne teni shawati jiting ko shawan ramanda mambo ti dubna teni chugan solan roa teni shekere.
The reason that this is said is if we simply borrow the word Dharma to say that we are practicing the Dharma, but in actual fact only undertake worldly actions, then for this reason one might descend to the lower realms. This is the reason behind it.
Teni ngatson zambolong ko chulu tamchi keteni lorji ko thola teni chula tenni mangte korang chu mangte kherne teni tonti teni soso gir ke teni ton mambo dramra mambo driba teni shongore se lorji thola.
Within the history of the religions in the world, there are many instances of people carrying the name of a particular religion in order to undertake actions of all variety of kinds.
Teni chulu soso la teni yore teni nang chula yon te dang drapo yore.
Every single religion has this kind of phenomena in their history, and Buddhism is no exception.
Teni nangchu thola teni ngar lorji ko thola yo pa matsa teni tarta yang ta ka zamalong ka kasakawa la mambu yores.
And it's not just a historical phenomenon either. Still, in our current world, all over the place, this sort of thing is taking place.
Teni pejana teni ta chula ta teni o ta pe nang gorkor mambo teni ta ya pe na teni ta lama chimbo mai na yenze teni turkmen na yenze teni ngonshi me na yoze o teni gorkor na mara ta ta pe na teni na pores.
So, for example, people who use the Dharma to deceive others, for example, by claiming themselves to be a high lama when they're not, or claiming to be a tulku when they're not, or claiming to have specific magic powers when they don't.
Teni tendra bozo ke pe na chula teni nang la teni chuba mambo teni japa chuluk ta chuluk bari nandra teni tendra woteres.
And also there are often many conflicts between religions and among religions themselves.
Teni chuluk tan chuluk wala teni chuba mambo teni tan zambolong lorji ko thola mambo jayores.
Interreligious conflict has been very common in the world's history.
Nang chula teni samlo tana te nyung rapores.
If we think about Buddhism, probably this has been slightly less than in other religious traditions. But it's certainly not the case that this has never occurred in Buddhism either. So that's history, but nowadays these things still happen. So even if it's not instances of large conflict, then even situations where religious traditions slander each other, then this is a situation of not being in accordance with the proper Dharma, as this first Dharma of Gampopa holds. So not just words of slander, but also thoughts of anger and jealousy at the level of the mind directed against religions is also behavior that is not in accordance with our turning to the proper Dharma as the first Dharma holds. So I visited a small island in Asia. And on this island, most people followed Islam. But there were a few Buddhists. Among these Buddhists, there were three kinds. And one kind or one type of Buddhist among this group were followers of Theravada Buddhism. And then there was a group who were followers of the Sutric tradition of the Mahayana. And the third group were followers of Tibetan Vajrayana. But the number of this third type, followers of Tibetan Vajrayana, were very, very small. But this small group of followers absolutely had no notion of being united and harmonious among each other. And because okay, so those it was these three groups of Buddhists, this small group of Buddhists of three different kinds who were not united in their outlook. The Mahayana followers slandered the Theravada followers, saying that they so the Theravada followers were slandering the Mahayanists, saying that they weren't Buddhist. And then the Theravada and Sutric Mahayana followers claimed that the followers of Vajrayana were not Buddhists. And so they were really just existing in a state of quarreling amongst themselves and insulting each other. They had no notion of coming together, uniting among themselves for the benefit of the teachings. But each of these different groups of Buddhists, it seems, thought that they were acting in the best interests of their own religion. They thought that they were their actions, their slandering or insulting of the others was for the benefit or the preservation of Buddhism as they saw it.
Teni tongo tola teni da chuchujin the mashi pasji teni zira zegrezi chula teni control sak chula teni ngarger sak teni chula teni jambala kundibshit teni shina tela teni chuchujin the mashi pa zegrezi.
But in actual fact, their behavior, what constitutes that which is goes precisely against turning one's mind to the pure Dharma. That is, through the Dharma, they were generating anger, they were generating pride, and slandering each other.
Tani tenji shina tini ta chula tini ta panto mepa nyaming shini tarwa topa tamchin chimpa tini topa mepa matsat tani ngansung la tini ta ndoresi dukpa mergiwa sakni.
So not only in this kind of situation do the people not act in their own benefit or act in a way that is conducive to achieving liberation, but through their accumulation of negative karma set themselves up to descend to the lower realms.
Tani ten rabo tini ngaso chusok tani mambo na la te pena ngaso the sharshokda kangla ina nafshokla ina tang tini ngai nafshokla chaji mambo me tani sharshokda ina ya chusok mambo nangla tini yang tini nangla tini yang ta koso soso ranga pena tini chi ngen kanken tan ngen kanken ka pala ina nda tani ti gola tini ta thoma da loma ka pala ina tini nyokda mambo nduz.
And situations like this occur all over the place, especially in Asia. I'm not sure, perhaps it also happens in the West too, but I'm not so familiar with the situation here. But in any case, these are situations of conflict among centre members themselves, whether it be between leaders of the centre or among students. I'd say that this also happens in the West. Because humans everywhere have negative emotions and afflictions in their minds. And without methods for properly eliminating these afflictions, then great problems arise, whether it be in the East or in Western countries. In this situation, we use, on the basis of the Dharma or through the Dharma, we generate anger. Or through the Dharma, generate pride. Or generate jealousy. But we say that the Dharma is for eliminating things like pride, anger, and jealousy. But rather than reducing these negative emotions of pride and anger and desire, we simply make them increase. So this kind of thing is the opposite of what we say or what is held with the first Dharma of Gampopa, which involves granting blessings to turn to the pure and sacred Dharma. So when we say with this first Dharma of Gampopa, which I should add probably should be translated as to grant blessings to turn our mind from worldly wrongdoing to the correct Dharma. What this first Dharma means is that we need to practice the correct teachings.
Then choosea de nga so mi sem gana la then nyomong ba me then sham dang nyang ji dang shirap to so yar ji san ro o then shia tapshi then la choosea res.
And when we refer to Dharma in this context, the pure Dharma, this is a tradition of methods for eliminating afflictions and for advancing compassion and wisdom in our minds.
Then garting atsu then chude la then tenne so so sem gana la khongcho da yerdang da then ngarjer da to so ke ga yona. And
if, however, we use the Dharma or take the Dharma to generate emotions such as anger, hatred, and pride, then this goes against, or this is countervailing the pure or correct Dharma.
Tani tambi choosea de pena ngaso tani jikting tani shawa pena tani chi shilo ngbo o tani chi pena pamjur rabo tani soso ranga wangcha tani soso ranga tani nyancha ta tsola tani ta yemba chimbo tani meba chat yapo tani tenznya o tani ga tapshi zirese chude.
And when we talk about the correct Dharma, this entails maintaining a proper level of, or an appropriate level of attachment to those things in our lives, such as our material riches, our power, our fame, and so forth.
Tani sholo tani pamjur da ngubo dan so la jemba chichi ro tani chuba tani jamba choda cho parla tani chakdo da yerdang dang so chichi ro tani resona tani chudi chu main bare ro yore.
However, if through our Dharma practice, our attachment to material things and worldly pursuits only grows, and if through our practice of the Dharma among Dharma followers themselves hatred and anger are generated, then this is Dharma that goes against the practice of the pure Dharma.
Tani nga tso perna ta nyamlim ba ina le tangbo pa nyamlim ba tin zi ina tani tangbo ni nga tso tani te pamjor la jemba thop thang la jemba wangcha la jemba da nyanjak la jemba to so zawa ni yo nyang ka mari tin zi na te yong ko mari tin song go ya mari.
Of course, this is not to say that for newcomers to Buddhism or beginners that they may not have any level of attachment to material wealth, position, power, or fame. This is not what is being said.
Tani nga tso sem ka nala tani pamjor da tani soso mangchak da tani thopthang wangcha decho makto ba jamba ga tani jiang tani de mena tani nga tso sem de tongban ra res.
However, if we have no pursuit for anything other than our own wealth and reputation and power, then our minds are really empty.
Tani sem ka nala tani jiang meni tani de tongba tani chaksona tani dumra hale pa mangbo yong ga du shawa ka drip thop ka mandu ze.
And if our minds become empty in this way, then we give rise to a great deal of suffering and we're not able to achieve anything. So it's just like a car not having a driver. Of course, without a driver, a car can't go anywhere. And in just the same way, when our minds become empty, then we become without pursuit and a sense of purpose.
Teni jikting ke teni shawan de so pena teni nga so teni pamjorta mangchakta de so teni mangbo teni nga so tondo ni ni teni shena teni namjigna teni nga so semyang teni thangchak kres.
If we excessively strive after things like material wealth and reputation, then one day our minds will become very tired, exhausted.
Teni thangchak pikap tena teni nga so lata teli jikting ke teni shawan de so main ba teli rambam thumbo jang ke teni nga so la tondo ni sha o teni yogo yores.
So at this point, when our minds become exhausted or tired of pursuing these things, then we need a level that is somewhat higher for our minds to pursue. We need things of a higher level to strive for.
Teni ti kapsata nga chon jikting ke teni ngupo chamala na teni ta tondo ni te sim ngarjang tap teni sim thangchat teni Telim thumbu tini chik tini tondo nyeria tini ni chichik me ta tini yung ikamna tini me chogo tini sem tongbare machela nyongbo madu sambi samlo to tini yung gore.
So if we get to a point where our striving for various worldly things brings our mind to a point of tiredness, but there is nothing beyond this for us to strive for, then we feel very empty. Life seems as though it has no meaning whatsoever.
Tani tata nga so tini mundam ke nangla tini chuwa tini ngupo gun chuwa ina yak takshu yu denken o tini ke mutu chuwa nangla tini masila nyambo mundu tini shanken pe mangbo deks.
These days, among people who really enjoy absolutely excellent standards of living, there are many who nevertheless feel that life has no meaning whatsoever.
Tani indi ta nga so tangbu kapsa Tambo tini pena tini most chila samlo tana tambo teze wolwo imbi kapsa o tini zaki yakpoyo konji yakpoyo sosola tini ngupo unchua yakpoyo na tini tati machok bachi chingmendo tini chaman riksong tini sami tini samkaresi tambo.
Di yanya sona jikshika kempo.
Ta nga so mozi ina tini tambo kapsa o tini kona pena zaki yakpoyo konji yakpoyo tini chua taso tini ngupo unchua ta yakpoyo na ta kondrik sonte ma jamba mari pachi mandik samni tindi samgares tambu kapsa tindi samgares.
So at the beginning, if a person is not so well off, then in terms of their clothes and what they eat, then they're relatively easily satisfied. They think, oh, this is okay, this is enough.
Teni teso tamchu poteni yotsabi jini
however, if in the beginning they were lacking these things, then once they attained them, then their way of thinking would start to give rise to change.
Tambo chapel korakatini tonda kote nyambo yosam gore yama sim yerwa timni ton nyambo mundik sam gore.
Tambo imbe gapsa deni nimbo ndu samgendu.
Tari kondo shatsaso teni ta teni jis tari nisha yo teni korang la tasu chama yakbo yo chawi jini teni ko sim yer ro yores.
Teni tonda mindu samgere.
Teni ti kapsa teni ta zaki yakbo yo konji yakbo yo na ta tonda mundik sam go. Yakbo yonken taso go tonda mundik sam gore.
So in the beginning stage, a person without these things would think it was rather of meaning to have good clothes and good things to eat. However, once they had actually attained these things and achieved them, then they would stop feeling that it was so meaningful. Their way of thinking would change.
Teni di kapsa teni ta nga chola kang go yorzina zaji da gyonji da teni ngubu teni longshun da maimbi teli rambam thumbo jang ope na shamnyang je da teni sherab ta o teni di kapsa teni go yore ton da nyer go yore di kapsa.
So at this point, when these things, material things, cease to be of meaning and interest, we need pursuits of a higher level, things like compassion and wisdom, pursuits such as these. It's at this point that we really need the Dharma. If at this point there is no Dharma there for us to pursue, then people fall into a state of despondence, exhaustion in their minds, not knowing what to do.
Even
though at this point we do need the Dharma, it's not possible just at this stage for everyone to have no attachments to worldly things whatsoever. However, if at this point one is able to practice the true and proper Dharma, then it can bring great benefit. There are some people who say that the practice of Buddhism is of benefit to our future existences. And they think that it isn't of great benefit to this present existence. But this is completely not true. With the exception of the Dharma and the Dharma alone, there is nothing from this life that can benefit our next life. So therefore, to say that practicing the Dharma is of benefit to our next existences is of course true. However, it isn't the case that our Dharma practice is only of benefit to future existences. It's also of great benefit to our minds in this very current existence. It's if we are able to really practice the true and correct Dharma that it is able to be of benefit to us. So if we are not able to turn from improper actions to a correct way of practicing the Dharma, then not only will we fail to achieve happiness, but we'll also give rise to great suffering. But there are cases of where people, through the Dharma or using the Dharma, cause harm to others. There are many cases in history of people using religion to cause great harm amongst each other. From a Buddhist perspective, all of this kind of action is completely contradictory to the teachings. And in cases such as this, we actually are using the Dharma, or using the Dharma to accumulate negative karma.
Tani chulugla tini tini da ngaso matuk mambu javiores.
There are also many cases where wars are waged on the basis of religion.
Tani matuk dawo tini unguso matuk jabandao mayna tani gadixum kusho payang mambu shiores pauli.
Not just actual wars, but also very violent incidences that take place on the basis of religion.
Tani nangchu tani samlo toni shadna teso tamchu potini chutangarwares.
But from a Buddhist perspective of looking at things, all of these incidents are completely contradictory to the Dharma.
Tani indi nangchu ina tani ta chula tani mojala no pakia chula tani soso rang simla nyomumba mambo kia tani shi jana tani te chuchu jendo shepa maimba nala zigres.
So if Buddhism is used to cause harm to others or to give rise to a great many negative emotions in the mind, then this goes against this first Dharma, which is to move from improper action to the pure or correct Dharma.
Tani chuchujin de shego zeaga tani kajade partana tani halepaga lesla poresi tani tangza pondao ta jachim pondao tani tinala chiko chimundo lesla pondao res.
Of course, when we just look at this line of the text on the surface, to move from improper action to the correct Dharma, it seems very easy. It doesn't appear as something that is extremely vast and deep in scope. However, it's extremely important that this takes place at the level of our experience. So, for example, in Buddhism, we have the Southern school, the tradition of the Southern school. We have the Chinese Buddhist tradition, the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. And each of these traditions originally developed in their own place. So Tibetan religion, Tibetan Buddhism developed in Tibet, Chinese Buddhism developed in China. But then slowly, gradually, each of these lineages or traditions spread all over the world.
Teni gepatiso tanchipo teni dong korang ko phugda osigri sama jagarni mariung bares.
Di tanja sunna jigreba.
Sama phugda sigri sama jagarni mariung bares. Gepatiso sama ungo.
But in terms of the origin of each of these traditions, it was none other than India.
Teni te indi teni ngaso inda manda teni ndrupushi gores.
So because of this, it's really important that everyone is friendly and harmonious. And help and cooperate with each other. And support each other. And by doing this, it is possible for Buddhism to serve many people. The Shakyamuni Buddha's own thought or vision was that his teaching should be of service to all beings. The nation of India that existed at the time of the Buddha was not as large as it is today. It was made up of many smaller nations. And the kings of many of these smaller nations had faith in the Buddha.
Then kashi ti tapa lipa chimbuyorez.
Some of these royal leaders had extremely great faith in the Buddha.
Pernatini jarbo tini lambochi jagar kati kaps tini lambochi to kosogo tini ndrumdur kati ta chishunda ota lambochi resi ti kaps.
In those days, the largest form of transport was to ride on an elephant.
Tini lambochi kati ngogo tola tini jansha yakbo mambo tani tini jarbo suti tola ndini rores.
And after decorating the elephant very ornately, the kings would ride on the elephant.
Tini lamkala tini ti kapkapsa tini ti sanji yana sanji nyantu tini gendemba tini tungro lamkala.
And occasionally these kings traveling on the elephants would either encounter the Buddha or the Buddha's disciples on the road.
Tini lamkala tini lower tini tuksona jarbo teso
and at those times when the king would encounter the Buddha or his disciples, he didn't slowly dismount from the elephant, he immediately jumped right off it. But of course the king could hurt himself by jumping off like this.
Oh, yeah. Tani tikap kutini nyantu so tani pena nangba gatini gendam batang tani yang nangba main bi gendam batso koso kuti parchin rabunda poresi jagarla.
Back in those days, members of the Buddhist monastic sangha and monastic practitioners of other traditions wore robes that were very similar.
And the
And when he encountered these practitioners in the road, the king would immediately prostrate.
In
those days, the clothes of beggars were quite similar to those that monks wore. So occasionally the monk would come across a beggar and get down on the road and prostrate. So because it wasn't good for a king to be prostrating to a beggar, the members of the monastic sangha put a symbol on their robes. So at this time, when the various kings of these nations had such great faith in the Buddha, if the Buddha Shakyamuni himself had been seeking power, then it would have been very easy for him. It would have been very easy for him to achieve power by means of these leaders.
Jagar katini jarwoti so wanshala tene tene sanji khorang katini wangir zenako oh tongzhi wangir zhi samna lesla pu yores.
So at this time it would have been a relatively easy matter for the Buddha to take advantage of the power of these leaders who had faith in him to exercise control over the place of India. However, at that time, the Buddha did not participate in the political life of any of these nations or states. But the kings would go before the Buddha to seek or request teachings.
Jabo soso rang teni dopa chimbo she teni memangka lakne gormo mambolea ngubo mambolea teni she manyem batang teni jaro rang ka shamnya je gom gosar teni ka loso namjin jab ko yores.
And at this time, the Buddha would impart advice to the different kings. He would tell them not to give rise to excessive desire, not to collect excessive amounts of money from ordinary people, to cultivate compassion. This is the kind of advice he would give. And the kind of advice that the Buddha gave the kings back in these times is something that we are still able to read about in the teachings of the Buddha, the Buddhist scriptures. In the Buddhist canon, there are 10 different sutric texts that revolve around the advice that was given by the Buddha to different kings. So the Buddha maintained a large distance between his religious teachings and politics.
Teni sanji teni ta sanji ge chute teni mun namla teni wang jirya teni zela tangbo ni samlo tangyo mares.
So the Buddha gave
sanji ge chute tangbo ni mutsola wang jirya teni zela samlo tangyo mares wang jirshit teni zela samlo tangyo mares.
So the Buddha, to begin with, gave no thought to using his teachings to control others. If this wasn't what he had in mind, then what did he have in mind? Well, his intention was for the teachings to be of service to others. And among his disciples were many great Mahayana bodhisattvas such as Chenrezig and Manjushri. And each of these bodhisattva disciples were people who served everyone, and not just humans, but all beings. They were primarily people of service. So regardless of whether it is the southern tradition of Buddhism or the Chinese or Tibetan Buddhism tradition of Buddhism, it's really important that everyone understands the Dharma as it was taught by the Buddha in his time. So if the Buddha's vision was that his teachings should be of benefit to other beings and of service to other beings, then if we use the Dharma to control or dominate others or to deceive them, then this is conduct that is not in accordance with practicing the Dharma in a correct way according to the first Dharma of Gampopa. And just the same, if we, by means of Buddhism, or use Buddhism to engage in fights with others, regardless of whether they're small scale or large scale, then this is conduct that is, goes against, contradicts the Buddhist teachings. And is also conduct that is not practice of the pure Dharma.
Teni tin rabo teni jing chba jawa teni ko chapchin mai na nga so teni sha chung chung ko thola nga so chu drub ko yin zeni tela kha yar ni teni tela teni me jamba la teni no pan ram ra kina teni deyang teni chu chu jun du shi pa mai ba se gre.
And it need not necessarily be really serious kinds of fights or conflicts. Any time that we say that we are practicing Dharma, but in actual fact use this behavior to harm others, then this is directly goes against the first Dharma of Gampopa, which is to turn from improper conduct to the practice of the pure Dharma.
So when
we are practicing the Dharma, we need to examine whether or not it is of benefit to others or not. And whether or not our practice is of service to others. And if our practice is of benefit and service to others, then it is in accordance with the practice of the correct Dharma. But if our practice is not in accordance with these goals, then it cannot be considered to be, we cannot be considered to be following, moving from improper action to the practice of the pure Dharma. So for a real practitioner of the Dharma, not only do they not volitionally harm others, but even if others harm them, they don't retaliate. So there was once a Tibetan Lama who had a great foundation in study and practice, and he was practicing in a hermitage in the mountain. So as a Lama with a great foundation of study and practice, he didn't have wonderful things to eat or nice clothes or anything like this. However, in the vicinity of his hermitage were some thieves.
So there
One day the thieves came to his hermitage and took all of his things. They carried them out the entrance to his cave. At that point, the Lama had been outside meditating on the mountain, but he was just returning, and so they encountered each other at the entrance to his cave. What do you all think the Lama said to the thief at this point?
Yeah. 그런 거 잘락 금막 가르발라 크리오디 드니 라마 파르도니 드니 잘락다서 어여뭐 간디 크리오 따요 그래서.
So the Lama, the thief was carrying all of the Lama's possessions on his back. So the Lama examined, turned over the things he had to see what the thief had taken with him.
드니 금방 다 그런 거 크고 지도 드니 라마가 파 촉지 인사를 뜻삼 바래서.
Oh. And the thief thought that the Lama was going to take back all of the things that he had stolen.
드니 라마 그런 거 가르발라 크리오비 잘락다서 드니 야로 말로 시니 드니 라마 딱 그냥 직송 바래서.
But after the Lama had rifled through the things on the thief's back a little bit, he ran straight back into his cave.
드니 라마 코랑 거더니 잘락 잠바서 드니 다른 켜랑 거 락문득 다른 드낙질 상득 드니 라마 쫙 끄는 캐니 코랑 라지니 버렸어.
And the Lama said to the thief, "Oh, you're missing a thing. There are a few things you didn't get." And so he brought them out and then put them on the thief's back. So for a real practitioner, this is the kind of things they do. And I think that it is possible that Garchen Rinpoche and Lamas like him might do this kind of thing. Humble Lama practitioners do this kind of thing. But whether or not those lamas that sit on elaborate high thrones do this kind of thing, it's hard to say. It's possible that these kinds of lamas would chase after the thief and hit them. Oh, so deni loma deni padong. Oh, yeah. So it's possible that they might send their own disciples after the thief. But real practitioners wouldn't do this kind of thing. So this is that was an example of turning from proper action to practicing the pure Dharma. But you might say that if it's a bit difficult for all of us to practice in this way.
And
that is why just before I said that even though on the surface it looks easy to turn from improper action to the true Dharma, in actual fact it's difficult. As for myself personally, those Tibetan lamas who are humble practitioners, I have great faith in them. And I love them very much. But I really give no thought to these trukuls and lamas with big titles and so forth. Those practitioners who really know how to practice the pure Dharma, those practitioners who are very humble and have studied very well and practiced very well. But when I hear about people who call themselves lamas or great lamas or tulkus, in my mind I wonder if this is really the case. It's possible that it is the case. It's also possible that it might not be. This is how I think. So I don't spontaneously or immediately give rise to faith in these teachers.
Nyamlimba tending money to the lojong abortion can get any Nyamlimba, Lama Nyamchung, Tendi Indi, or Tendis raised in the Watini Kona, telling us of Tabakirios, and I don't know, so no, Tabakirio, Gavins.
Dendazina, Deni Kutso Raisina, Deni Chisi.
Majaba, Teddy raised it, Tendi Nyamlin, but it is raised Kona, Kaposhirio, Tapashirios.
However, if I hear it said that a particular lama is a modest and humble practitioner with excellent study, then I do give rise to faith. I immediately have a feeling of liking. What does everyone think the reason for this is?
The
reason is that if they practice in accordance with the true Dharma, then they are a real practitioner. So when we say about practicing the true Dharma from a Mahayana perspective, what do we mean?
Teni lasam nam takagone teni suso rangla teni muir gang maybe toni teni simjin la teni pandongkan teni zina teni tabachimbo chuchujun to shinken teres.
So a Mahayana practitioner who is in accordance with the true Dharma is one who is completely sincere and pure-hearted in their motivation, with no ulterior motive whatsoever, and sole desire to be of benefit to other beings.
Yeah, Tatini Chuchujan the Shizin Kanto, Teni da Chuba Lojong Yabo Shinken, Tenda was a Teni Yamchung Shinken, and Mazala Pandokan, Tendizina, or Tanda Chuchujan the Shinken, race, something Munzum Shina Chocolate.
So, if a practitioner, if a practitioner is a good practitioner, is a humble practitioner, and is of benefit to other beings, then you would be able to recognize. You would be correct in recognizing this person as a practitioner who is in accordance with the true Dharma.
Tendigo Shabamon Tang Gui Jimson Chimboji or Mare, so to Rala Tagores.
Ranga Dagora.
Mojamba to Chuba Reta Mares in the Tinishapa Mambo Jabgoya, Tonta Chimbojang as your Mares, so to Rang Chubare do Damaduta Tagores.
So rather than talk a lot about whether or not others are good practitioners or not, the most important thing is for us to examine whether we ourselves are true practitioners. And among everyone who has come here today, we are all true practitioners. This is something that we can tell or evaluate by looking at ourselves.
Do
we use the Dharma to give rise to jealousy and anger and insult each other?
tinti ka pala chu yang tak ba mari nga yang tak ba yin zi tinti zega endu.
Are there among the students here today people who say, who criticize, say, people who follow the Hinayana vehicle, who criticize the Mahayana vehicle and vice versa? Are there practitioners of the Sutric tradition who criticize the Tantric tradition and so forth? Do we participate in this kind of activity? If we do, then we are not in accordance with the true Dharma. If we don't do these things, then we can be considered to be in accordance with the pure Dharma. So when we talk about Dharma, this is something that necessarily entails everyone being friendly and harmonious. It entails us exercising patience and forbearance towards others. And also entails us having understanding and tolerance for others. And also entails us having minds that are open and relaxed. And entails us having minds that are free. If through our study of the Dharma we are able to do all of these things, then this is a sign of being in accordance with the true Dharma. However, if through our continued practice of the Dharma we only generate the opposite of these things, then this is a sign of not being in accordance with the true Dharma. The real Mahayana teachings are of service to others. It's not like many politicians in the world who say that it's for the benefit of others, but in actual fact it's for some private purpose. The Mahayana teachings are really and truly oriented to be of service to others. So each of us needs to assess whether or not we are able to practice in this way, and if we are, then this is in accordance with the true Dharma. If we can't, however, then even though we might call ourselves practitioners and other things, in actual fact, we won't be in accordance with the true Dharma. Do we do we seek to elevate our position and increase our power through the Dharma? There are some people in Eastern countries who do this kind of thing. And there are some who say that this also takes place in the West as well. But as to whether this is the case, I'm not sure. I've only heard this, I've not seen it with my own eyes. And among that which I've heard, there's many people who say things this way and others who say that way.
Tani karir na tanga tini lama chu yoni tini wang chu karda. Tani gormu mangbu tini jinjiona di nyenkorla dena chokore tini segandu.
I've heard it said that there are some lamas who come and give empowerments and say that for those who make gifts of large amounts of money are able to sit up close near the front. If someone, say, gave $2,000, then they would be able to sit right by the side of Khenpo's table.
Yeah. Tani tongtak tani chikda ngabjan ro jinjemena di tholan dik choksa mari ten dik gosares.
But if they only gave, say, $1,500, they wouldn't be able to sit right by the table. They'd just have to sit down the front near the carpet near the stage.
Tani tongtak chingda bole jinjemena chosun dik gosa tani pan dik gosares.
And if they gave, say, $1,000, then they would get a first row seat over there. And if they only gave $500, then they'd have to sit at the back. And as the amount of money that was given decreased, their seat would go further to the back. And if someone gave no money whatsoever, then they would simply close the doors on them. What does everyone think? Is this a good thing to do or not? Is this not a case of using the Dharma to enhance one's position? Those who sit to the left and right of the Dharma throne don't get any particular privilege in terms of receiving the empowerment. For example, if we go very far away, then the telephone signal can't be heard. Let's say, okay. So it's just like with a phone signal, even if one goes a very far distance, you can still hear the telephone. And it's the same with receiving an empowerment too. There's no such thing as sitting far away and not receiving the empowerment.
Yeah. Then kabar kun chanda rawo inna teni teza thagni nam chanda yakbo yochires. Kabar kun chanda inna teni yuna kabar kun chanda yosa teni changdong de la teza nyena teza kabar yakbo dasaro yochires.
Of course, with the phone signal, if you are closer to the signal, then the sound is of a better quality.
Teni wanglan de la yona ti thani pola yona chichik teni thopjiwa mal hangbochiang thopjiwa mares.
However, in terms of receiving an empowerment, sitting right by the side has no extra benefit at all. Whether or not one receives an empowerment hinges on the faith of the student. It has no connection whatsoever with the amount of money they give.
Tani ngachu chama ti lama wang kar teni loma cho wang ji yong teni ngachu dina wang kar ke yore shawa de ngachu ko shawa cho de kan resina chama la wang yang po thobya de reas.
So when students request an empowerment and a lama comes to give an empowerment, the task at hand is ensuring that everyone receives the empowerment properly.
Teni ti yen sakti teni da ngachu wang thobya la phan thok mena teni dina yaran digna chu ton da yore.
So if it's of no benefit to receiving the empowerment, or sitting right by the side of the throne is of no benefit to the empowerment being effectively received.
Teni tsola teni ta ti loma chola ngargir
Through practices such as these, disciples only give rise to pride. It's not helping them to dispel pride. They only think that, well, I'm here, I'm sitting up high, I gave a lot of money, I'm different to everybody else. This is how they think. And so they give rise to pride, don't they? All of these kinds of practices are completely contradictory to moving from improper action to the practice of the pure Dharma. So those who give more money wear different clothes, they wear special clothes.
Oh yeah.
And those who make donations of a slightly lesser amount are given clothes of a slightly different color. For example, those who give donations of, say, $2,000 are given clothes of a gold color. And those who give $1,000, say, are given red clothes to wear. But if, say, someone just gives $100, then they're not given any nice clothes to wear at all.
But
this is whose invention is this? It is certainly not an invention of the Dharma. This doesn't exist within the Dharma. So in Taiwan there are quite a lot of people who do this kind of thing, and over the last couple of years when I've been to Taiwan, I've criticized this and made many people quite displeased. And I know that they were unhappy. However, I would not say things simply to make people happy or like me. What I say is what the Dharma needs. These are the things that I say. So of the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa, this first line of the text is extremely important. So to turn to the proper Dharma and practicing improper Dharma leads to the lower realms. These two we need to understand together. We need to put these two together. So things like this, those that have just been described, are really actions that are not in accordance with the true Dharma.
근데 대소 추 마인 바당 추당 간조에 와든 가서 하고 고 그래서 추 소중신ken 소 하고 고 그래서.
So it's really important that as students of the Dharma, we understand that these kinds of actions are in contradiction with the true Dharma.
ngacho nang chundazi na mula tini japshi jiate kangrezina tini ngupo tang gormo tini japshi to zo te mareze ngacho ngupo yo gormo yo na to tini mo jamba na la jini japshi jina chokore rete zo te mareze.
So the purpose of Buddhism's Buddhism's service is not for the sake of acquiring objects and material things, wealth. Of course, if we have these things to give to others, it's fine for us to give them.
Tani ngupo jinji yo na te pe yagborze karchin borze mi mangbola halepa tini tim kho yore tani mokyobo mangbo yo ti sola jinji yo na pe yagbores.
Of course, if we do have these things, objects or wealth to give to others, it's good, it's important, we're able to help a lot of poor people.
Yena ngacho nangchu tini mojan la jinji te karirezena shirp tang nyarji or sem go tokong upo so jingo yores.
However, primarily what Buddhism gives to others is the gifts of compassion and wisdom rather than material things.
Tindi yindi tini ngacho nangchu ya de kanti hako go re ma tok ba ngacho mo mambo z ngacho mi jam dra le kam jam dra mambo le de na tso nangchu re sam tini sam gdu z nangchu go gongba yin sa re sam gdu z.
So it's very important that everyone understands exactly what Buddhism is. There are many people who think that all these various kinds of actions are Buddhism.
nangchu tini ngacho mojan la phanto ya te ngacho tari kono sha patere tini shirap ta nyarji ni kherne tini mojan la japshi ya mojan la phanto ga tere.
The benefit that Buddhism brings others is by taking wisdom and compassion to be of service to others.
Tini teshi thapsona tini ngacho chu jindap she baaz ji tinalan rores.
So if we are able to succeed in doing this, then we have succeeded in practicing or turning to the practice of the pure Dharma.
That there is terang ngato teni ta chuchu de tisot there is goteni tonsong teni te chuchu jinde she baaz ji titola chama ga samlo ya potang rochi.
So that concludes our morning session. This first Dharma of Gampopa, turning from the Dharma to the true Dharma, please everyone think about carefully. It's possible that by saying these kinds of things that many people might feel offended. And if we put these teachings online, it's even more people will become offended. However, on behalf of Gampopa, I apologize to everyone for this. So we'll finish the morning's teaching here. And we'll finish with a dedication of merit.
Page 23. Yes. Sometimes these have a little bit different. Some is 23, maybe some is 22. Dorjenchang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma Lodro, Gampopa, Pamutrupa, and Lodro Gompa. Please bestow upon us most auspicious blessing of all the Kagyu Lamas. But this virtue may achieve nations. by defeating all enemies' confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, cross the ocean of samsara, bodhicitta, the excellent in the precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri the Vero realized the autonomic state, and as did Samedabhadra, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the invisible Sangha, order may the merit shall bear fruit. Next page. By this virtue, collecting in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by innate rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teaching of the Gampopa Shiri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum.
Everybody, please stay for 5 minutes as Khenchen Rinpoche leaves the room with Gampopa. Please stay in your seat for 5 minutes. We have some important announcements. If you'd like to make any offerings, Khenchen does not take personal offerings, but you can make it out there at the reception. You can make your kata and offerings. Sister Fawn is there. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani. Okay, everybody, just 5 minutes, please. Take your seats. Brothers and sisters, thank you. For those who do not know me, my name is Achi Sabel, and we are truly blessed to have had this incredible teaching from Khenchen Tsutrim Lodro. I think teachers like him, as a Tibetan who's had the privilege of being immersed in the Dharma since 1974, gives us great inspiration, both in the relative plane and in the absolute plane. So, talking about Khenchen Rinpoche's great teaching, this center was founded by Gachen Rinpoche. Many of you have met him. Gachen Rinpoche, to me as a Tibetan, is a true hero. As Khenchen pointed out, his humility, his great compassion, his great love, a true hero in the sense, as a true great representative in this body as a Tibetan, to benefit others through compassion and wisdom. So this center is just about actually 2 years old. So it's a beautiful, incredible power place. It does not belong to a few of us who are now on the board. I look forward to a lot of the younger folks here in the 50s and 40s and 30s to come and actively participate. Please, we really want you to participate. There are a few of us who are working hard to get it sort of established. But it is all to do about generating compassion and wisdom through what the Lord Buddha had taught. And it is through great teachers in the future like Khenchen and Garchen who will inspire us. But we do need this physical center to thrive. So the good news, from about $1 million, we have brought it down, the mortgage, to $520,000. So it is really incredible. It is through a hard work of few people here, the Bui family particularly, and there are some other great sponsors who do not want to be mentioned. But we do really need the support, financial support. So one of the ways we have generated, we have 137 folks who have sponsored one of the beautiful Buddha images. It's $1,000. Like myself and my wife, we sponsored one in the name of our family, and it represents, it will be here as long as America exists. I wish it for many, many thousands of years to come. It is to inspire and generate what Khenchen said, wisdom and compassion. So please, dig deep in your pockets. If you can't cough up $1,000 right away, put it on your credit card. Welcome to America. So put it on your credit card. Talk to Sister Fawn and everybody out in the front. You can do monthly, you know, $100, $10, whatever. So please, we need your help. We have 137 folks who have done this so far, and really it's gone a long ways. That's like 137,000. So imagine, we have 1,023 Holy Buddhas here. It's going to be here. It's part of you. It's going to inspire others. So please consider that. So if we just have 1,000 people, our debt is over. Then we can really concentrate on getting Khenchen back, right? Garchen Rinpoche back and other teachers back, and concentrate, like we have the Garchen Children's Program, which is like incredible. So those folks who have young kids, we have that every Sunday. We have a wonderful, incredible resident teacher, Khenpo Samdubla. He's again one of those shining stars, I say, younger generation, humility, his knowledge. So, so that's one thing I wanted to share with you. In October, we are going to take this incredible pilgrimage celebration, the 800th anniversary of the founding father of this lineage, Choba Jiktin Sumgun. This is going to be celebrated in Changchubling, the place of compassion, in Dehradun. So far, we have about, I think, 12 to 15 folks who have signed on, and thank you so much, Faith, for spreading the word and inspiring majority of those people who have signed on. So if you're interested, you can contact me or anybody out in the front. Okay, it's a 16-day pilgrimage, and then later, Khenpo is going to actually go on a pilgrimage of his own, and some folks are going to join him. So it's going to be an incredible experience to India and to Nepal. So then we have Khenpo's project. Now, Khenpo, when he went back to Tibet after many years, and it's also been my own experience, I've been back 5 times to central Tibet, and when you go back, there's so much need there. And again, in Khenchen Rinpoche's incredible advice, knowledge is the key. Knowledge in the temporal and in the absolute level. So those of us who are practitioners, we study the Dharma. We study the Tibetan language. We have so many things to access. But in Tibet, Khenpo said that there are many monasteries that are being rebuilt after the Cultural Revolution. Spectacular. But what they lack is education. Education in the temporal sense of reading, how to read and write, the sutras, tantric studies. So he has a project, education project, and just now there are about 500 kids in his village. So it's an incredible opportunity to help him with this project. So please contact Faith Debbie from Ohio, or Fawn. Anybody out in the front, okay? I think that's it, unless anybody else has anything to share. So we will gather back at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, I'm sorry I forgot to announce there's lunch being served downstairs, vegetarian lunch for everybody. And the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa book is on sale. It's in the corridor, okay? So lunch downstairs. Lunch downstairs, lunch downstairs. The Gampopa book is here in the corridor. Thank you.